The other aspect that is so beautiful that it's going to be something new to many, but it's fabulous, it's beautiful, is the music.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how can I not ask you about that? I mean, tell our audience, how you chose the score for the movie. I don't want to say much more.
Okay. We chose the score for the movie very intuitively. We filmed in the place,
right,
in Katwe. So there's a lot of source music that naturally plays in this place.
Yes.
So what is that music? And what was that music in 2010, 2011,
Correct.
2012? It's not always Ugandan music. Some of it is.
Yeah.
It's music in large part from the African diaspora, including P Square and Afrigo, etc. I don't want to give too much away, but there's plenty in there. And then of course we have to come back to our director Mira Nair, and frankly her son Zoran, who worked on the film in many different capacities, has a great ear for music, and also has spent most of his life growing up half in the United States, half in Uganda, and so he had a great sense of what would have been popular in 2010. And Mira, in all of her films, I think, really takes pride in the music that she puts in there for being authentic to the place and the story she's telling. And so they were really our curators, as well as people who, again, were acting in the film from the place, who could tell us, no, that wasn't that popular, and just a great sense of it. Yeah, so it was very natural. In fact, that was probably the fun part of it. It was like, what music do you love?
Yeah. It's kind of like the icing on the cake. Like, this film is fabulous already. Yeah. And then you add this music, like this icing, that just brings it all together. The music makes the film really authentic, and everyone is like jiving, even though it's such an emotional film, but you just feel really, really happy.
I'm glad you say that. I mean, one of the other things we thought about is the movie takes place in a specific place, but we want the movie to be embraced by all of Africa and hopefully all of the world, but for Africa to know that it's their film as well.
It's their thing.
And so one thing that unites a lot of Africa is the music that people listen to.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
So that is plentiful in the film.
I mean, your passion comes across in this film. I just don't even know. But, it's funny how I read that you used to be a CPA. I mean, speaking about the American dream, I mean, you used to be a CPA. I'm really curious. There's a land of opportunity. I mean, how were you able to navigate going from that to become such an avid film producer to the point of become senior vice president of production for Walt Disney?
Well, a lot of work to get there, indeed. But it comes down to figuring out what you're passionate about. I started out of college working at a CPA firm, Deloitte & Touche, working in many different industries that I respected a great deal. I learned a lot from, but I wasn't passionate about the work. I wasn't, I didn't get up in the morning and think, oh, what can I do with this job today? Yeah. And it forced me actually to think about what would I be excited to get up and think about? What would not feel like work, even though I was working?
That's right.
And it came down to film, television. I've always liked reading. In fact, I started reading a lot when I moved to Uganda. There wasn't television or movie theaters to go to, which I had always experienced here in the United States. So I just started reading books, and most stories come from books or articles or reading about something. So once I figured that I really liked doing that, I started down the path of figuring out how to do it professionally as a producer. And I went to a film program in New York, and then I came back to Los Angeles, and I found a job at HBO. I took plenty of classes at UCLA, and then I found an internship for a producer one day a week while I was still working at HBO. I would just take vacation, and I'd go in and I'd read scripts and learn, and they liked me and I liked it, and a job opened up and they offered it to me, and that's when I jumped in full throttle to start producing films. And I would produce films on the side, short films on the side with friends, just to gain experience, go through my film school, and I would work full-time for this producer, building what I call creative capital, which is, why should anybody believe that an idea I had is a good idea because I say it's a good idea? Only because I have creative capital. Maybe another idea I had was good, so now they'll believe this idea. And when I had enough years of that, I would start to find scripts, and I would start to champion filmmakers and people that I believed in, and I was able to build enough creative capital that I was offered a few different jobs. I worked for Brad Pitt as a production creative executive. I worked at another company called Good Universe, where I produced a film called 50/50, doing the same thing. They had heard about me at Brad Pitt's company, and then Disney heard of me as well, and we got into a conversation. I came here 6 years ago.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Isn't it true what they say, huh? Passion is one thing, but you got to do the work.
That's true. But when you find your passion,
yes.
you don't feel like you're working. So
that is true.
I work a lot, but it doesn't always. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I'm working.
You know what, that is true, and I certainly can relate to that, because I love what I do, and I hope everybody watching finds something they're passionate about, and do everything you got to do what you love, because life is too short.
Exactly.
And that really brings me to this line in the movie that I love, where you say, in chess, the small one can become the big one.
Yes.
I like that line. Because I almost feel like someday I'm going to be ruling the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, why can't you dream that big?
Someday, you're already ruling the world, I think.
Oh my gosh, thank you. It makes me dream. So, do you have a special message to the diaspora, basically?
Yes. I do, which is hopefully the message in the film, which is genius lies everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere, in all people, in all children especially. It's only a question of, will it be discovered? And once discovered, will it be nurtured?
Hey,
if it is, I feel that you can do anything you want to do in life.
Yes.
Right? You can change the circumstances of your life. In the case of Fiona and the Queen of Katwe,
yes,
that happened. She discovered her gift, it was nurtured, and she was able to change the circumstances of her life. So that is something that's possible for anybody, any place that they live, including and especially Africa.
You heard that? We can only go up. So what's next for you? Next to, I don't know how much, with the Brad Pitts, Lupita's, great stories, and your movies are doing great.
Oh,
and I have no doubt that Queen of Katwe is going to take off all over the world. So what's next for you?
I hope
what do
so.
you think?
Well, on the point of Queen of Katwe taking off all over the world, it will only do so if the African diaspora gets out there and supports it. So please, go see the movie. If you like the movie, tell everybody you know, all of your family and friends, to go see the movie in the theaters, September 23rd, September 30th, nationwide. And then we'll be in Africa and the UK as well. And Europe, all of Europe as well.
Yeah.
Next for me is a live adaptation of the musical, love music, of Beauty and the Beast,
wow,
which we will release in March of next year, March 17th, 2017. That has Emma Watson, who starred in the Harry Potter trilogy, as well as a number of other great actors, based on the 1991 animated film that Disney made that was nominated for an Oscar. And then I start production in November on a movie directed by Ava DuVernay, who directed Selma, directed a new show on the OWN network called Queen Sugar.
Right.
And it will star Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon, Mindy Kaling, and many, many other interesting, talented people.
You certainly are very busy.
Yeah.
But of course, like you said, you don't feel like you're working, because you are enjoying your work.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I love it.
So when should people expect the film in the theaters?
Queen of Katwe or
Queen of Katwe.
September 23rd in 15 cities.
Right.
And then September 30th all over the nation.
So we should get everybody out.
And in Africa in October, and starting in October in Europe as well, the UK, and then we're spreading out to Spain, France, and everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you for your time. And thank you.
It's been wonderful. So that's it for us. And as you can see, this is a film that needs to be seen by everyone. It will certainly change the way you see struggle and success. I urge you to take your families, your friends, to go and see The Queen of Katwe. Not just because it's a movie made by Disney, but the story is a very empowering one that will inspire our children for generations to come. Thank you. And please send us your comments on our Facebook page at Frank Talk USA, or go to our website, immigrantmagazine.com, and see you next time.
Mama, can you do big things from such a small place?
Don't think about such things.
Why not?
You would be disappointed. When I first read The Queen of Katwe, I was about 10 pages in when I broke down and cried because I had been so inspired.
Young girl, come inside. The thing that really struck me when I first read the script was how heartwarming it is, how full of joy in spite of a very difficult life these people manage to have.
Why are you letting her win?
I'm not letting her.
The story came from an amazing young man at Disney who is Ugandan, called Tendo Nagenda. He was in Kampala for a family reunion, and he told me about Fiona, this extraordinary young girl who became the Ugandan female chess champion.
Checkmate.
Checkmate.
Checkmate. She won.
You could be the best in all of Uganda.
Good. How can I become a champion?
I have lived in Kampala, Uganda, over 27 years, and it is such a privilege making a film about Katwe in Katwe with people who are the heartbeat of the original story.
You must never surrender.
The true life Robert and Fiona
are with us on set every day, and they're always an incredible source of both inspiration and authenticity.
Sometimes the place you are used to is not the place you belong. You belong where you believe you belong. Where is that for you?
Medina, she is from the streets of Chibuli, which is the neighbor slum of Katwe, and she has been on her own, much like the real Fiona.
We were shooting a scene on the street, and Medina turned to me and said, "This is my story. I've been here." I think it just put things in perspective. I felt very privileged and honored to be able to usher these children through this. I just said to them that this is our opportunity to tell the world your story. And that was a moment where real life and the world of cinema, that line no longer exists.
Am I ready?
You belong here.
We're all very aware how blessed we are to be making this film here in Uganda.
The very fact that we were having the opportunity to tell this remarkable story about Fiona was cause for celebration. And I think we were all on the same page when it comes to that.
Rated PG.